In one of my recent YouTube online video research sessions, I guess is what you would call it, since that's one of the ways that I study silly human behavior, I came across a video montage called Supercar Idiot Drivers and Owners. Supercar Idiot Drivers and Owners. And I found among this particular collection, and it's the irony that you wouldn't think that you would see the same thing over and over again until you get into a place where you see the same thing over and over again, was that the Lamborghinis that were in this particular video series, there were several of them that had a very similar problem. Obviously, the drivers or owners were idiots because that's how they made the montage, but this particular sequence, they all had the problem that for whatever reason, when they over-rev them and the sparks shoot out the tailpipe and a little bit of blue flame shoots out the tailpipe, when it comes back in, it tends to ignite the engine compartment. And there were a couple of those people that they were revving up their car in traffic and showing off, and it overheated and it caught the engine compartment on fire. And one of them, when it caught the car on fire, he took off driving. Everyone's yelling, "You're on fire, you're on fire." He's trying to drive fast enough to make the fire go out, and apparently doesn't realize oxygen makes fire grow. So the more air it has, the faster it's going to grow. The faster you go, the more air it has. And now you have a bigger problem than you had when you took off running from the problem you have. I'm J Loren Norris with Leading Leaders Podcast, and I think many of us have that kind of problem in our life. We have a problem that other people are going, "Dude, you're on fire." No, like you're literally on fire. Yeah, there's a commercial about that too. It's an insurance commercial, I think. "You're on fire." He's like, "I know, I'm a flame, anti-cool." No, your car is on fire. We have fires in our own lives, little problems that if we could figure out the source of the ignition, we could not just put out this fire, but we could stop the fire from coming back. If Lamborghini could figure out why there are 10 or 12 cars in this one video sequence that burst into flames while someone is driving them, I'm thinking that's a brand problem, Lamborghini. You might want to fix that problem because there are lives at risk. But see, if we just realize that other people have problems and we don't look at our own problems, then we'll never solve them. The other challenge that we have, especially as leaders, is that we're trained to watch people. As leaders, we observe the behavior and the outcome and the results and the product results and the performance of people across the board, the ones who work for us and the ones who compete with us. And as we observe them, we tend to see that we got a little problem in this area right there, and it's probably relationship based, or maybe that came from their last employer, or maybe that's residue from childhood that's just kind of lingering in the way that they think and behave and perform, and that's a bit of a problem. See, we also have another problem, and that is that to go straight to someone who has a small fire going on in their life and say, "Hey, you're kind of on fire back there. You got a bit of a problem. You need to stop what you're doing right now, put the brakes on everything else, and get out and deal with your problem." Some people don't receive that well. They're like the guy in the Lamborghini. He thought he'd outrun the fire, and so they just go full bore into life while their tail end is on fire. And they ignite other people along the way, and they start a big problem along the way, and they disrupt your workplace along the way, and they destroy teams and families along the way because, well, they're on fire. Coming to them with a fire extinguisher would probably be a better idea. And rather than say, "Hey, did you see that smoke boiling out of your trunk?" just simply put out the fire for them. Offer a solution that they both want and need. Give them some idea how to fix the problem they have, especially if the problem they have is really a symptom and not the real problem. I'm sure the car was on fire, but what caused the fire? How do we stop that from coming back again? How do we prevent other cars from having the same problem? As leaders, we should have both the ability to identify the problem and the wherewithal to come up with a solution that will actually change lives. Something that will transform the problem into a non-existent, non-returning problem. Not just a salve to make it feel better today. I challenge you as leaders. Don't just identify the problems in other people's lives. But first, start in the mirror. Figure out where your problems are and solve those. But then next, also find solutions for people's problems. Don't just tell them you have a problem. Tell them, here's a good way to fix it. Because I once had that problem and here's how I fixed it. I'm J Loren Norris with Leading Leaders Podcast for Tell It Like It Is TV. Have a blessed day.